This is how to make walnut rum steamed pudding with Blackberry Coulis and Earl Grey ice cream. An ingredient in Earl Grey tea called bergamot is a small citrus fruit that is dried and added to the black tea, and when the tea is cooked into an ice cream base, the flavor becomes floral orange. To make Earl Grey ice cream, add 4 egg yolks to a mixing bowl and scale 60 grams of organic cane sugar, 200 grams of whole milk, 200 grams of high-fat cream, and mix to break up the eggs. Add 3 grams of Earl Grey tea leaves and transfer the mixture to a freezer bag. I drape the bag on the inside of a mason jar and use a jar filling funnel to make it easier to fill the bag. Get as much air out of the bag as you can and seal the bag tightly. Cook the custard sous vide style using a water bath set at 85 degrees Celsius for 1 hour. The water bath I use is an 8-liter hard plastic storage container with a lid. I cut a hole in the lid to fit around an immersion circulator and like to use the 8-liter Cambro because it has handles, making it easier to carry even when it is hot. Transfer the cooked custard to an ice bath to cool down completely and store in the refrigerator overnight to allow the flavors to develop together. Freezing custards as soon as they are cooked can sometimes be bland. Chill down the bowl of an ice cream machine and strain the custard through a fine mesh sieve to remove the tea leaves and make the custard silky smooth. When the bowl of the ice cream machine looks frosty, turn on the paddles and add the custard. The ice cream is ready when it is coming away from the sides of the bowl and looks like soft serve ice cream. Pack the ice cream into 125 milliliter mason jars with tightly fitted lids and place the jars in the freezer to harden. A Blackberry Coulis or thin berry puree offers a nice contrast to the walnut rum steamed pudding and Earl Grey ice cream. To make Blackberry Coulis, scale 100 grams of blackberries with 20 grams of honey. Add the juice of half a lemon, about 15 grams, and let the fruit macerate in the honey and lemon juice for an hour to create a syrup. Add the macerated berries and syrup to a small saucepan and boil for about 3 minutes. Add the berry mixture to a wet-dry spice mill or small blender and process until smooth. I like to cover the top with a towel when I am working with hot syrups to help catch any splashing or hot liquid spills. Strain the puree through a fine mesh sieve and refrigerate until ready to use. Stored in the refrigerator, the coulis will be at its best for several days. To make the walnut rum steamed pudding, toast 60 grams of walnuts to help the nuts release their oil, and scale 60 grams stone ground whole wheat flour into a small jar and set the jar aside. In a small bowl, scale 60 grams of room temperature butter with 60 grams of brown sugar and cream them together. Add a teaspoon of baking powder to the flour and mix it in. Chop up the walnuts and cream them into the butter too. Add 15 milliliters of a good caramelized Barbados rum, an egg, and mix them in. Freshly grind some Himalayan salt into the flour and baking powder and mix it in. Add the dry ingredients slowly in 2 or 3 additions, allowing the flour mixture to be absorbed into the wet ingredients. Divide the mixture between 3 125 milliliter mason jars and seal the jars with a canning jar lid. To cook the puddings using the sous vide method, check to make sure the lids are on tight and place them in a water bath heated to 85 degrees Celsius with an immersion circulator and set a timer for an hour. An immersion circulator is a water heater that rotates the water as it heats it to create an accurate temperature for long periods of time. Jar lifting tongs are a good investment if you do a lot of canning. Allow the jars to cool, or at least until they are cool enough to handle. Steamed puddings are best served warm. If you sanitize the jars and the jars are left sealed in the refrigerator, the puddings will have a long shelf life. To make vanilla chantilly whipped cream by hand, we want to have a small mixing bowl and a small whisk. and place a small bowl on top of a folded towel to help hold the bowl in place as you whip air into the cream. Add a few tablespoons of cream to the bowl and sprinkle the cream with a little vanilla powdered sugar. Powdered sugar gets absorbed into the cream faster. Whisk the cream for a few minutes until stiff and refrigerate until ready to use. Steamed puddings can be eaten right out of the jar with a sauce and a scoop of ice cream on top. This is a plated presentation of the assembled dessert. This is the fun part and a chance to be creative. The 125 milliliter mason jar shape creates a pudding that is 2 inches tall and a little wider at the top than the bottom. So to stand the puddings upright and make the dessert stand out, put a generous dollop of vanilla chantilly cream in the center of the plate and then unmold the pudding. Rubber gloves are a good thing to wear. They help insulate your fingers from the heat if you're serving the puddings warm and sticky. Take a little peeling knife and run it along the edge of the pudding to help release it. Put your fingers over the opening of the jar and shake the jar to release the pudding into your hand. When you're trying to create a more elegant vertical dessert, make sure it is stable so it does not spill before it gets to the table. Stand the pudding in the delicious whipped cream to hold the pudding in place as you move the plate around. I took some Earl Grey ice cream out of the freezer about 15 minutes ago to temper the ice cream to a softer texture. Ice cream tastes best as it is melting, so tastes best a few degrees below soft serve texture. If you're having trouble forming a scoop, then the ice cream is not ready to serve yet. Add a scoop of Earl Grey ice cream on top and let it melt into the pudding. Spread the Blackberry Coulis around the plate and add a few fresh blackberries. There are so many flavors, textures, and temperatures happening all at once. A perfect combination of rum, walnut, earthy, caramelized toffee flavors, and citrusy, floral berry flavors, and the texture of the warm pudding with cool berry sauce and creamy frozen ice cream all melt together for that truly homemade experience.